Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Billy Funk, the Extreme Networker. We are here with Mindset Your Marketing. We apologize for all the technical difficulties. Hangouts on air and YouTube and Google Plus, they continue to upgrade, improve, they ever evolve and morph, and that's actually one of the things that I love about this fantastic platform is that nothing ever stays stable. And I believe the only thing that's constant in the universe and in everybody's life is change itself. So if you can't adapt to change, hey, you're going to be left behind it. We got some adapting to do here in Mindset Your Marketing with the HOAs. And I'm here with two special guests. I got two awesome co-hosts with me. I got Lany Sullivan out of Oregon, not Oregon.
That's right.
as well as Jason T. Weiser with On Track Tips. He is out in the Ukraine. What's happening, Jason?
Woo, just having a lot of fun hanging out with Billy and Lany and waiting for Shannon to show up. You guys, this is cool.
Right on. Yeah, we got Shannon Young from Georgia hopping on board. We're relaxed. I believe that failure is fantastic as long as you don't lose the lesson. So we will definitely not lose the lesson here when it comes to getting your hangout on air and event all integrated together. Everything changed a few days ago, and we're going to definitely take this failure as a launch pad for success the next go-around. The best part about failure is that you learn from it, and you can choose to actually use it as your friend, as your launch pad. What's happening out in Oregon, Lany Sullivan?
Hey, just getting our minds right, right? Yeah,
right.
HOAs are lots of fun. So like you said, it's always fun learning the new things that Google has for us. So I challenge all of you to learn it too.
Absolutely, absolutely. I believe that if you're not learning, you're not growing. And everything that's not growing is usually dying. If you're not living, you're dying, and we're constantly evolving as people, and this platform's constantly evolving and morphing. Today we're going to talk about walking your talk. So many people go out in life, they talk a big game, they talk about doing this, and they want to do that, and they want to become this person, and they want to do that thing over there. But how many people go out there and they walk it? And if you stay consistent and persistent with what you say and what you do, everybody out there will believe whatever you say in the future. Same with yourself. See, I believe that it doesn't matter what everybody else believes. It's good to have a backing. It's good to have a surrounding of followers that are all at your beck and call and all do everything that you say that you're going to do, and they follow you. But it's a whole nother thing for you to actually believe yourself. Because if you go out there and you talk a big game, if you talk about a goal or a dream and you don't do it, and you start a track record, well, guess what? You're never going to believe yourself with the next goal that you put in front of yourself, the next goal that you write down. You'll have a track record of saying one thing and doing another, so why would you yourself believe that you're going to do something differently the next time around? And if you don't believe you, how can you expect anybody else to believe you? We actually got one of the best people, I believe, on the planet right now with us to talk about a track record and doing something and going out there and following through with what you say you're going to do. Jason, you got OnTrackTips.com. You are the man, the myth, the legend right now when it comes to being consistent, persistent with hangouts on air. I can't remember the last day or week that I haven't seen a Jason T. Weiser hang out on air. What is it about success and going out there and talking about something and then walking that same path that maybe has led you to where you're at right now?
Yeah, so like the same thing I tell all of our clients and everybody we say on Track Tips. You know what? You start with a business strategy and you set that success marker. You put it off in the distance and you go as straight as you can toward that thing. Like don't get caught on all these crazy tangents. Go straight to that. Make a plan of action and stay on that plan of action. My plan of action was to create enough content to fill up my blog. I had a goal of 15 videos. I got my 15 videos. Had a couple messes the last time around, but you know what? It's all good, So.
Absolutely. I've seen you put stuff out there and time, come to the plate, and you're always ready to swing the bat, and I like that. I definitely like that about anybody that stands behind their word. It's definitely a positive thing, and I believe that you're somebody a lot of people look up to right now inside of Google Plus and inside of marketing. And Lany, you got a lot of people to look up to you, and we got Shannon Young out of Georgia who just joined us. Before we go over to Shannon, Lany, what is it about success in that track record and you going out there and saying one thing and sticking with that and following it up with the consistent actions that are all I guess congruent with what you say?
Well, I think you just said it all for me. I mean, it is all about consistency and congruency and being the same from yesterday to today to tomorrow. I mean, really, we grow and we evolve into, what we're learning and being, but getting rid of the hype and being sure and confident in what you say and what you believe and not letting people, pull you off your beliefs and, throw doubts in your way. And I mean, really, it's all about consistency. It's all about integrity. It's all about, making sure that what comes out of your mouth actually goes into action.
You got that right. Shannon, I know you had some technical difficulties with your camera. It's just awesome to have you here, with us today, even if it's just your voice. I know you got a little mindset, and you're somebody that you stand behind what you say, and you go out there and you bridge the gap of what I like to call dreams and living your dreams with action. That is the bridge. So Shannon Young, what if you can hear us, what is it about walking your talk that has got you to where you're at? I think she might be muted. So we're gonna swing right back to Shannon here a little bit. But Shannon, next time you can hear us, just give me a little. And she's coming on now. Okay, so we'll sort of go back to her in just a second. I kind of, in the past, had a scarcity mindset where I didn't believe that there was any more quotes, any more personal development, creative content that could be created and curated. And until I divorced myself from that mindset, until I let abundance kind of encircle me, I never really did create any cool quotes or never really thought that it was even possible. And I'm somebody that likes to talk about personal development. So finally I started walking it, and I started allowing myself to see that there's a blue ocean, not a red ocean. And one of the things that came to me when we did this go out there and walk your talk conference call last week was the bridge between your dreams and living your dreams is called action. Actually, it could be called massive action. And if you take it a step further, it could be your massive action plan. It's your map. So the bridge between your dreams and living your dreams is a map called your massive action plan. And how do you go out there and develop or create a map? Well, figure out first where you want to go. Because I think one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest stumbling and blocks that people have is they don't actually ever decide where they want to go. And if you don't know where you want to go, you're never going to get anywhere. So first off, decide exactly where you want to go. Write that down on paper. The exact event, the exact place, the exact point in your life where you want to be 6 months from now, 6 years from now. Decide and make it specific and have that clarity of thought and purpose. Put it down on paper and then go back, reverse engineer it. Pretend like you're building a masterpiece. Pretend like you're building a skyscraper and you're putting together the blueprint. You're the architect for all the construction workers to go and create this magnificent mansion or skyscraper for you. And so what would be the exact steps? What would that mansion look like? What are your dreams and your goals going to take in order for you to get there? That's your step. It's your map. And if you were to follow a map, if you were to go from New York to California and you were to follow a detailed map that said, maybe it was TomTom or GPS, or some sort of physical map. If you were to follow that map in every road and found out exactly how to get there, if you did it step by step, you're always going to get there. So you need to create a map, a massive action plan for whatever it is that you really want to accomplish in life. And if you follow it step by step by step, don't stop until you're there, you'll always get there. And so how does this relate to go out there and walk your talk? Well, I mean, so many people talk about achieving, financial freedom. So many people talk about having the car of their dreams or the lifestyle of their dreams or the home of their dreams. but they never put together an actual massive action plan, a map, so they can go out there and they can walk their talk. And that's the missing piece of the puzzle. That's what you need in order to really achieve everything that you want in life. Jason T. Weiser, have you ever put together a map? You know, some people call it a mastermind action plan. Some people call it a massive action plan. But have you ever seen anything come together on paper where you saw it as a reality first in your head and then on paper before it was actually physically appearing in front of you?
Yeah, well, that's, actually, this is exciting times for On Track Tips because I'm in the process of rebranding. I started out as Webination Station, and this whole On Track Tips thing has gone, like, so much farther than I ever really, kind of expected it to, in a way. And so I have this vision of where I want it to go, and I'm, like, as this whole thing starts unfolding, I'm realizing more and more, like, there's so many things that I've been, like, I know in theory. And I think that a lot of people do this. A lot of people are regurgitating theory, and instead of just instead of actually having the success, having the proof. I was reading a Ryan Handley blog post just earlier today, and Ryan was saying, you know what? It's this. What I'm doing is I'm showing you the actual statistics. I've gone in. I've measured I've measured out what's happening. I've got the statistics. I've got the metrics, and I can show that what I'm telling you is the reality. This isn't just something I'm making up. This isn't just something I read somewhere else. And so the whole, when you say you need to be walking your walk, that's what it's really about, isn't it, Billy? Like say you're going to do something and do that something. Yeah.
No, you're right on. I love it. I love how you've morphed and evolved. You realized, okay, Webination Station isn't something that's aligning with who you are and where you really want to go. It's kind of like it's like a fork in the road, like a detour, and you realize, oh, well, you know what? This road is where I go. And so you're realigning yourself. You're putting yourself back on the right road, back on the right track, back on ontracktips.com, and that's the cool thing, is that as long as you still have got that endpoint, as long as you're going, you'll get there.
What I think it is, and why I think I'm getting so stuck right now, and I really appreciate your audience because I know what it is that I want to accomplish, and I know how it is that I need to get there. But I tell you what, me and I think so many other people, we get overwhelmed. We think there's no way we're going to be able to get this done. How am I ever going to do it? It's just so much going on. I know where I want my blog to go. I know where I want my list to be by the end of this year, and yet you get just completely overwhelmed. So you find yourself doing all these other tangential things instead of working on or in your business, taking those one-step action steps at a time, and really doing what it is that it takes to get there. I mean, how many people on the call right now have spent, how many webinars have you watched over and again, and yet at the end of that webinar, you've learned all this great content. How many times have you watched On Track Tips or Billy's show, and at the end of the show, walk away and go to the next webinar, or walk away and go to the next blog post and look for the next, exciting thing? What you need to be doing is at the end of this, take action on this stuff. Figure out one thing that you've learned in this show, even if it's as small as optimizing, your profile on Google Plus or whatever it is, and take that step. And you're going to start seeing results. That, Billy, and everybody listening, I confess that for the last 4 or 5 years for my own business, I've been spending so much time working on everybody else's business. I haven't been working on my own business. I've been telling everybody else, here's how you have to do it. It's easy to sit on the outside and look at somebody else's things and go, oh, fix this, fix that, fix this, fix that. But when it comes time for yourself, when it comes time to say, oh, I need to fix this and fix that, it's easier to find some tangential thing to go off on instead of just saying, okay, it's time. You know how long it's been? Go to ontracktips.com right now, and you'll see my fav icon. It's still that little stupid piece of paper folded over. That thing's been on my notes forever. Fix that nav icon. It's those little things. You know what I mean? That's my little rant. I'm just really passionate about this because my vocalist, I guess my
My computer's a little bit off right now, but you're not off, Jason. You're right on. I love rants, so if you want the floor, I mean, I'm listening. I'm taking notes, brother.
Well, it's just being real with yourself. You know what I mean? And it's easy, like right now on air, even at the beginning of the show, Bill, you asked me that question, and I'm trying to think, okay, marketing and mindset marketing. I'm trying to put myself into your show. Well, I'm not an internet marketer. I can't wear your shoes, and that's where I'm gonna, like, when we rewind the show and I'm going to watch that section, I'm all tripping up on myself. I'm not Billy Funk. I'm Jason Weiser, and I'm doing On-Track Tips. I'm passionate about my dreams and my vision. I'm going to stay moving forward. But what I've come to this reality, and I'm just getting real dead serious on this recently, unlike I have in the past. I'm getting real serious about this is what I want to see done, and if I'm going to make it happen, if people are going to take me seriously, I need to do these 3 or 4 things. I need to do these 5 or 6 things, but I'm going to do them one piece at a time. I'm not going to let myself get completely overwhelmed by this great, massive, big picture. I'm not going to become Chris Brogan overnight, but you know what? I will become a Chris Brogan. You know what I'm saying? We can all do this when we stick our minds to it and when we stay focused on it. If that's your dream, if that's your vision, what is your passion? And what do you want to see happen? Stop sitting there thinking, oh, I wish, and start thinking, man, this is tough, this is hard. I think when you're stuck in that place where, like, man, this is really hard, man, I got to do another blog post, that's where success is. Success isn't in that place where you're like, oh, man, someday, oh, I wish I could, oh, if only I would. It's taking those hard steps, thinking, man, this is hard. Oh, man, I gotta wake up and I gotta do another blog post. Oh, man, I gotta go edit this video. That's where success is. That's walking your walk right there.
I agree. I'm going to step in here, Billy. I am all about, one of the things that I have been passionate about is helping women in business. And Billy and I, we've had that conversation. And Shannon Young and I have been talking now for a while, and we both have a heart to help women in business and help women in general. And so this year, going into 2014, is the year that, like, I actually get to, like, fulfill that vision and see that passion come to pass. And it's so awesome to go through and figure out what hasn't worked, what has worked, where you're going, because it's, even though that what has not worked, it's a lesson. Like, now I know, like, this is not going to work in my vision and my passion. Like, I knew what my passion was 10 years ago. I just didn't know how to get there. So, going through the steps is important. Once you figure out what your vision is, what your purpose is, what your passion is, then you can start eliminating the things that don't meld and mesh really well with that. You can start, kicking things to the curb, essentially, and going, okay, that doesn't work, this does, and keep in your wheelhouse the things that work really well, and then make sure you focus on growing those and surrounding your vision with those pieces. So back to you, Billy.
I love it. No, I love what both of you said. Jason, I just got to say one thing. Amen to what you said, because here's the thing. A lot of people will put something out there, and it'll just be, they'll kind of like look around and wait for somebody to affirm, what they said, or to say, no, you can't do that, or maybe you can. They look around, they wait for everybody else's reaction. And very few people have got passion and push it with purpose. Because if you were listening to Jason talk, not only did he have fantastic lyrics, but the music behind those lyrics was just absolutely phenomenal. It was like, a band coming together and truly gelling. And that's what you need to have. If you don't have passion with whatever you're doing, you're never going to get the purpose. You're never going to be able to it's never going to pull you in the direction where you want to go. And when you have that passion, it doesn't matter if you start down the wrong path. If you know exactly what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, where you want to be, where you want to go, and you've got passion behind it, it's not just pushing you, but it's pulling you. Eventually, you're going to get there. You're going to find yourself at that point where you're like, yes, I'm here. But until you have that passion, I think you're going to sit there in that comfort zone, which so many people out there, they wonder why they can't get what they want. They wonder why they're not achieving greatness. They wonder why everybody else has more. The reason is because the people that have what you don't have became uncomfortable, and decided, you know what? Comfortness is overrated. Being comfortable is so overrated, it's not even funny. There's no growing, there's no learning, there's no success in being comfortable. It's just impossible. It's like, trying to climb a mountain and trying to jump to the top. You don't just get there. The person who's at the top of a mountain didn't fall there. He climbed there. Everybody has to start at the bottom. Everybody has to go through the hoops, the hollers, the failures, and the pitfalls that go with getting to success. It's all part of the road. It's all part of the journey. It's all part of the map. And until you learn to accept the potholes and the bumps, the speed bumps and the detours that are on that highway to success, until you learn to just appreciate them and know that they can be launch pads, that you can veer off and go around them, until you learn how to see a wall and say to yourself, you know what? I know that can't stop me. I know that I can find a way over it, around it, under it, or you know what? Screw it. Go through it. Break that baby down. Any barrier that you see in life is it's not static. It's not there forever. You can always find a way around something or over something or through something. Or hey, you know what? Take a different direction. Sometimes we realize that we know where we want to go, and we're in Chicago, and we realize that California is west and not east. So what? You started off on the East Coast. Maybe you took a couple days, off-road journey. Maybe it doesn't matter. As long as you eventually get on your path and you take action and you stay consistent and persistent and you don't let anybody tell you can't do something, you'll get there.
Totally. But, I was going to say, Jason, do you have Comment Tracker up?
No, I don't. I don't right now.
Okay.
Hey, lady, I gotta say so. I just gotta let this out of here real quick, if you don't mind. Billy, you know what I love about you, man, is you are just always like on fire and excited. And you know what? I run into so many people in business and on a day-to-day. I run into people all the time, and they're like afraid to be excited. They think that like, oh man, if I get too excited, people are gonna think I'm all weird or whatever. Why not? Why not go woohoo? Raise your arms up and go, I got this one. So we're 15 minutes late in the HOA, so it's a total mess. Who cares? Woohoo! We're banging it out of here, man. We're getting there. We're one step closer. And you know what? The worst thing that's gonna happen, like on this hangout, let's say it's a total like failure. Delete it. Start again. Hit it all over again next time around. Billy, that's one of the things that I wish that more people around me, I had more people like you around me that are just have this infectious energy, this excitement about, yeah, I can do this. Instead of this, people look at him like, oh man, look at that dude. He's a little bit, hey, slow down. It's a little bit too much espresso. Is it? Is it too much espresso, or you need some more espresso, buddy? Come on, I got a shot for you too. Hop on my back. Let's go. Woo!
That's
I love
awesome.
It.
That
I
is
love it.
so
Pass some
fun.
of that over here. What's up, Lany Sullivan?
So I was going to read some comments. And I apologize, I'm probably going to pronounce her name wrong, but Kalyani Roldan said, I call it the uncomfortable zone, Billy Funk, not the comfort zone. And then David Schiffman says, zeal, you need zeal. It's the essence of life. And then Thomas said, here's another one for walking the talk, understanding that just because the info is out there, if you don't actually take the steps to get there, it's just not going to fall into your lap. And then Mick Sharp said, Jason Weiser, truth, it's knuckling down to get ish done. Hat tip Mia Voss on that one. And Mark Seidel said, I love it when people are passionate. So James Fierce said, I'm not going to become Chris Brogan overnight. LOL, Jason Weiser. So it's got some really great comments.
Oh yeah, there's great audience members. There's some great comments out there. I learned a great lesson. Doing hangouts from home are not the same for me as doing them in the office. I've got a much stronger connection. Obviously, the lighting is way better. It's almost like we got this hangout started, and I realized, wow, all right, well, yes, I've talked about how Google Plus just changed their HOA settings with the events as well as Hangouts, and yet I didn't learn it, and so that's my fault. That's my failure. But remember, I treat failure as my friend. I'm going to look back on this, and I'm going to use it as my launch pad so that the next time when you look back on this event today and then you look at the next event, you're going to go, wow, it was like, holy cow. Yeah, you're going to see a totally different, I guess, not professionalism, but in terms of how we run the Hangout. I mean, I don't think you can get any passion than Jason T. Weiser, so either way you look at it, I think we're having a lot of fun. And that's really what it's all about. Is giving value, having fun, and really not caring if you fall. If you can look up, you can get up, says Les Brown. And I live by that philosophy. The old Chinese proverb: if fall down 7 times and get back up 8. Just keep going and going until you get there. Remember that word "until" is very key. If you if you use "until" instead of saying "trying," I'm trying to get there. No. I'm going there, and I'm going to keep going until I get there. I'm not trying to get anywhere, because the act of trying only leads to more trying. The act of action and going and moving and not stopping leads to results, leads to success. Think about this. If you were to take any big dream, any big goal, and say, okay, it's out there. That's where I'm going. Here's my massive action plan. Okay, so many people out there, they talk about something huge and giant. They talk about when this is going to happen, when that's going to happen. They talk about their big goals and their dreams. And so when they put it out there that they're going to do something, and they don't follow it, with that walk behind that talk, they don't actually accomplish it, they're creating a track record of non-success. Now, if you were to take whatever big goal you want, break it down into pieces, and then stop focusing about 6 months from now, 6 years from now. Focus on today. What's one thing today that you can accomplish? Just one. Here's my challenge. Here's my goal for you. Here is my plan of action for you. Okay, my map is write down every single day one goal, one thing that you can accomplish. Without a shadow of a doubt that you can do it. Whether it's connecting with 10 new people, whether it's going out there and finding 3 people that you can actually bring over to Google+. Maybe it's David Shipman says this Hangout is not a failure, it's rocking. You can never have too much espresso, man. I agree with you, David Shipman. Thanks for joining us, brother. If you take one goal, just one, maybe it's, maybe your 6 months goal is to lose 60 pounds. So what are you going to do today? You're going to run a marathon, a year from now. Today, your goal should probably be, walking a mile or running a mile or, doing 10 push-ups or doing 20 pull-ups. Make your goal small. Make it so that it is, thanks Douglas Kuzma, Billy Funk, you're the man, brother. Make your goal for the day something you can accomplish, and start a track record of success. Because here's the thing. If you make your goals, writing down your goals habitual, and achieving your goals a ritual, anything that you want, you can have. Massive success is inevitable. Create a track record of small steps to success, and then every time that you say you're going to do something big, every big goal that you have, well, guess what? You're going to believe that you're going to do it before you even do it, and so will everybody else, because you've got a track record of saying something and doing something, and when that happens, everything in your life gels. Success is easy. Wealth is easy. I call it the uncomfortable zone, Billy Funk. I love it. I love getting in the uncomfortable zone. That's why I love extreme sports, because you put yourself in, right in the face of fear. And successful people, it's not that they don't fear anything. It's not that they don't doubt anything. It's not that they're not uncertain of things. They don't let it define them. They let it refine them. And I like that. Uncomfortness is awesomeness. What do you think, Jason T. Weiser?
Yeah, well, it's like earlier on, like I said, right here. Look, put it this way: I'm not a radio host. All right, I've never been on live on air. This is not natural, but it's fun. You know what I mean? I'm passionate about it. I'm having a great time. So just move through it. So I look, a little foolish every now and then. So we all do. That's the uncomfort zone. But you know what? At the end of this, we're going to meet all kinds of really totally, Lany, I never would have met you. Billy, I'd have never met you if I didn't take that chance to put my face in front of this camera and look like a fool. Well, I'm grateful that, a couple shows later, I'm starting to figure this out a little bit. I mean, this is kind of fun, and I think everybody can. Maybe we're not all set out, made up to sit in front of a camera and have at it. And sure, we're going to stumble and fumble, and we're not all, Tony Robbins. But you know what? I'm Jason Weiser, and I'm having a blast being Jason Weiser. And I'm going to find out what makes me passionate, and I'm going to press right through it and have a great time. That's what I love about Google+. You know what? It holds us accountable to our peers. This space is full of all kinds of awesome just great people. I mean, really pushing it, moving it. There's no hiding behind these fake thumbnails and pretending to be somebody you're not. Talk about walking your walk, you know what I mean? I'm motivated every day that I'm on this network to do more, to squeeze more out of myself. Not for competition, not for, but just in myself. I'm just inspired and motivated by so many people here on this network. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it amps me right up to be here and to be amongst people like you, Billy, and Lany, and all these just awesome folks. I mean, yeah, I'm just babbling now.
No, I love it, man. Passion is contagious. Let's start an epidemic.
Yes, absolutely. Billy, one of the things that I was thinking of when you were talking is, successful people, they live in the moment, and with their focus on the long term and their long-term vision and their end game, but they don't expect instant gratification. And I think a lot of people get into their, a business or, something that they're excited about, and they want the result today. Like you said, if you want to lose 60 pounds, start walking a mile today. Well, they want to lose 60 pounds like yesterday. They don't want to go through the process, and the process could be 6 months, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 2 days, but they want the instant now. We live in that instant gratification world, and I think to be successful, I know to be successful, you have to stay in it for the long term, no matter what hurdles come in your path. And I think that's really massive, because when you let those hurdles take you down, you got to start over, or you just got taken out of the game completely. So that's one of those things. I'm like, don't live in an instant gratification world, people.
Billy, earlier you were asking me, you're like, okay, so you got a plan. You ever see that plan unfold? When I went and I bought this right here, all right? You know what this microphone is right now to me? This is taking action. I knew that what I wanted to do is I wanted to improve my blog. I'm not a blogger. I'm not a good writer. So I thought, okay, what can I do that I'm good at? Well, I love video, all right? And I love just hanging out with people. I do it all the time, all right? That's fun. So cool. Now I can interview some people. I can get some network. So what I did is I forced myself into a position. I went out and I made an investment. And so now I've got one of two choices. I either use that investment or I just throwing money out the window and I got a new toy. You know what I mean? It's like the guy that says, I want to lose some weight. All right, so what do? You walk into the gym and you say, how much is it to get a personal trainer? And they're like $500. You're like, I don't really have $500. So what you're saying is, I don't really want to lose some weight. Right, Billy? You know how that, Lany? All right?
Yes,
what we're talking about here is you want to do something. You got to put your money out there and lay some money on the table, make a commitment, put it out there. So, I would challenge everybody that's on the call right now, if there's something that you've been wanting to do, something that you're just have been thinking, I really like to do that, or I really need to do that, what I want you to do right now is call up a friend, go and make a blog post, put it out there public, make it so that this world will hold you accountable and help you get to that goal. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, if you want to write 5 blog posts, go right now to your stream and type, I'm gonna write 5 blog posts this month. All right? And as soon as you write that, and everybody on G+, all your friends are going to be like, cool, man, that's awesome, that's awesome. What you've done is you've just made a commitment, and your friends are going to hold you accountable. Now, you better write them 5 blog posts, or you're going to look like you got mud on your face, right? So what better way to take action and really walk your walk than to throw it out there and say, hey, hold me accountable, people. Put money on the table. Write the check. Buy a microphone. Call a friend and say, this is what I'm going to do. But not just one friend privately. Put it out there in the public space and say, hey, hold me accountable. What do you think? Do you think that works, Billy?
Absolutely.
I love it. You're putting pressure on yourself, and you're putting yourself in that uncomfort zone, which is exactly where you want to be. It's exactly where all the growing and the development and all the learning happens. It's the path to success. And so you're forcing yourself. You're literally like holding yourself on a pedestal, or in front of a fire. You're putting your hand on that burner and saying, okay, I know it's going to be hot. I know it's going to burn for just a little bit. It may sting. There may be some pain involved in it, but you know what? I'm going to push through it. I'm going to put myself in the position so that I can achieve success. Because if you don't, if you sit still, guess what's going to happen? Absolutely nothing. Nothing will happen if you do nothing.
Exactly.
What do you think, Lany?
Mick, I like what Mick said right here. Can I pull that one up on the screen?
Yes.
He says the old cobbler's shoes syndrome. It just gets us. What's it say? It gets us all. Well, you know what? A good friend of mine, Sue Miley, she wrote a post, and it's called I forget what it was, but anyway, it was basically saying that cobbler's kids syndrome is just no longer an excuse. You know what I mean? To say, oh yeah, for those of you that don't understand what the cobbler's kids syndrome is, it says that the cobbler's kids has no shoes because he's out there too busy. The plumber has the leakiest faucet. The web designer has the worst website. You know what, folks? We can't go around anymore doing that. You gotta make yourself your number one client in order to get more clients. If you ever want to scale, if you want your business to grow, you have to be your number one, first and foremost client. It's like what Dave Moore said when he was on my show. He's an expert. He goes around the world and he teaches people about sales calls. And what Dave said, he says, who's the most important person in the sales call? The person you're talking to, the customer, your potential client? That's what everybody says. He says, no, it's not. It's you. You're the most important person in that equation. And so often we all extract there. We think, oh, no, it's all about them. No, it's not. For you to grow and scale, you've got to be, and it's not an arrogant thing. You know what I mean? It's not a haughty or a proud thing. It's just the way it is. If you want to scale, you got to make yourself the most important person in your business equation.
Yep, exactly. It's like when you fly on an airplane. They tell you to put your oxygen mask on first and then put on your neighbors if they're struggling. So you have to take care of yourself first because otherwise somebody else, if you're not taking care of yourself, you're going to get walked on. So you have to. It's so important.
That's right. Did we just lose Billy?
Douglas Kuma started his own talk show. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, we got you.
Yeah, Doug Kuzma. He started his own talk show.
Yeah, he says, I'm starting my own talk show. So he's making it, so we're all Doug.
He started his own talk show, and he said, you know what?
So everybody that's on the call right now, what I would want you to do is go and circle Douglas Kuzma, get him in your circles, and encourage this guy because he's putting it out there. He's putting it on the line. He says, I'm going to be starting my talk show. So you know what, Doug? I'm putting you in my circle right now. Somebody else take the microphone because I got some work to do.
Me too. I just circled him too. So
he's got an awesome mindset. He knows where he wants to go. He's not afraid of getting uncomfortable, and he's not afraid of stepping outside the box. Douglas Kuzma, you're awesome, brother. I love that mindset. I think, what was it, James Fierce that said that I took a double espresso shot earlier this morning? No, maybe I had some coffee, but I had 2 shots of Jason T. Weiser and a shot of Lany Sullivan. Passion, I believe, is contagious. Let's take a bonfire and turn it into a wildfire.
Absolutely.
And just push it, baby. I like to think that anything is possible. Even the word impossible, if you broke it up, it spells out I'm possible. And so if you don't think something's possible, well, guess what? It's not for you. It's like, I forget who was the first one who actually quoted this. It was Henry Ford, or one of the great success philosophers, one of the great guys of the 1900s, who said, if you think you can or you think you can't, guess what? You're right. It doesn't matter. Whatever you really, really believe, and I believe that there's talking something, there's thinking about something, and then there's taking it even a step further, where you've got the passion, which is emotion, which is feeling, which is taking it a step further, because what is an emotion? Well, it's a thought that's in motion. And so if you have taken your thought of wealth, of health, of happiness, of success, of prosperity, of exactly what you want, and it resonates with every single cell in your body to the point where you're on a vibration level where everything that you do is just pulling things to you. You're like a magnet where everything that you want to happen is happening for you before you even make it happen. You know, that's the level that I believe the success philosopher is at. Thomas Thibodeau says, join my 30-day goal writing challenge. I love it. I love every challenge that's out there, because you're putting yourself out there for not just success, but you're putting yourself out there for failure. And remember, failure is your friend, and you treat failure as fantastic as long as you don't lose the lesson. As long as you don't, let it define you and confine you. Let it refine you. Let it be that starting point, that stepping stone, that building block, that first point on the map that you say, okay, looks like I went off track a little bit, but I'm going to get back on track. I'm going to go to ontracktips.com, and I'm going to get on track today.
I want to read this one here. David says, and I can't see it right now, but there we go. David Shifter, he says, that was the first thing that I noticed, Jason Weiser, was your mic setup. That shows commitment. That's very classy. Now, I'm not pulling this up because you mentioned my name. What I'm pulling this up for is because it's got a lot going on in this comment. What does it show? It shows commitment. It shows a classy, you said. So what happened here? By you saying that just gave me extra encouragement in what I'm doing. It kind of gave me this boost. So I made the commitment to buy the mic. I took a confidence in myself by getting, going classy, picking it up a little bit, brush. It's like you don't go. It's like the person that goes out in public looking all disheveled. How are they going to feel about themselves? Well, they're going to feel disheveled, right? You get all, I'm bouncing all over the place because I got so much stuff going on. Bella, you do this to me, man. You just get me all fired up, and my brain just starts spinning. Hey, how many people out there who work from home get up in the morning, shave, do your hair, and say, hey, I'm getting ready for the day, or are just excited to be working in your PJs? That's the same kind of comment I'm thinking about here that you were talking about, David. Is there's something about not pride, but taking this sense of confidence, saying I'm going to class it up, I'm going to step it up, I'm going to bring up my game. I'm going to, yeah, all right.
I love it. You're on a roll. Here's the thing. I think what you're doing is you're seeing something that's out there. You're seeing people. You're feeling that passion. You're feeling their energy. And instead of what most people do, which is talking to people, talking at people, you're talking through people. You have no idea what's about to come out of your mouth. That's the beauty behind shooting from the hip, from talking through people, allowing somebody else's energy, actually reflect back at you, and you're able to actually tune into it, and the words that are coming out of your mouth are being pulled from that person. So they're the right words at the right time, talking to the right person in the exact way and shape or form that they need in order for them to actually learn, develop, grow, and get to where they want to go. Because, guys, I'm not scripted. I don't have scripts here and there. I write down a quote here or there. I used to have a scarcity mindset. I failed over and over again in life, time and time again. I fell down. I got knocked down. I got, beaten down, and I got back up, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to quit. I don't care whatever I did in the past. That doesn't define me. I'm going to let it just refine me. I'm going to say, you know what? Everything that I want is right there in front of me. I'm going to go past hope. I'm going to go past belief. I'm going to go beyond just wishing. I'm going to take prayer to the next level. I'm going to go beyond faith as well. I'm going to go into that knowingness of whatever I want is already there. I just need to move towards it. I can walk towards it. I can crawl towards it. I can run towards it. But you know what? I'm going to find a plane and I'm going to fly towards it. I'm going to find a train and I'm going to cruise towards it. I'm going to find, a BMW, and I'm just going to absolutely just launch towards it. It doesn't matter to me. I know it's there already. I'm just going to make it happen and not stop until I get there.
Yeah, let's keep it real, man. That's what I want to do with On Track Tips. As I'm building this business, what's fun about this, and everybody that's with me that's come and signed up and introduced themselves to me, is we're going on this journey together. And where I've helped a lot of businesses to move through that process, it's totally different now because I'm making myself the business. Like I said before, it's easy to sit back and make assessments, and I've helped a lot of businesses reach success, to get their goals in order, to get their business online, to snip and tuck, and but to actually put that mirror in front of you and say, okay, now it's my turn. Man, it gets to be a whole new ball game, and that's what's fun about On Track Tips. And if anybody wants to hop on this train and cruise, man, what we're going to be having a lot of fun in 2014, just kind of feeling ourselves through this goal of making you your own business. You know what I mean? I mean, we've got a lot of people. In fact, everybody that's on the call right now, just drop in the comments real quick and tell us, what is your business? What is it you hope to, what is it you're working towards? Yeah. So
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so great because that's what's really important. I think you really need to focus on what your goals are and what you're doing in 2014, Jason. I mean, it's perfect what you're talking about, just building you. When I talk to business owners, I'm all about who are you as a person, not your company that you represent, but who are you? What are you trying to accomplish? What do you want to do? It's more than just a product that you sell. It's the mission that your product is just a tool. Who are you as, Lany, Sullivan, Billy Funk, Jason Weiser? What are you trying to accomplish? And it's huge when you take yourself out of the task and put yourself into the mission.
Yeah, this is fun.
Keep
here.
going, Lany.
Sarah's got a nice fun.
Keep going.
Read that for us, Lany.
All right, Sarah Lamotte.
Wow, you guys totally rock, says Sarah Lamotte. It's so awesome to see such excitement. Go ahead, Lany. You read it because they want more of Lany Sullivan.
They want more of Lany Sullivan. I don't know about that, but hold on, I can't read the screen. Hold on, let me pull it up here so I can read it. Wow, you guys totally rock. It's so awesome to see.
Oh, I got it. Okay, see such excitement and passion.
Mm-hmm. All three of you are infectious with your optimism and positive attitudes. Thanks so much for sharing and being real. That was team effort right there.
And that's I just had Stepan Hovnanian on the On Track Tips show, and it was a mess, man. Everything was just going awful, and I just got done re-editing it and doing it, and I was listening to this guy, man, and he knows his stuff. And one of the things that was my biggest take. See, when you're hosting the show, you don't get to actually listen to the experts until afterwards. Then I'm like, wow, I'm taking notes. I like that. One of the things he said that just totally nailed it was about how to use your newsletter or your email newsletter marketing. He says so many people are marketing like marketers. He said just talk and be real. Talk like you're talking to your friend. Act like you're writing a letter. So I totally appreciate what you're saying there, Sarah, because it's about being real. You know what I mean? Hey, all I can be is Jason Weiser, But I tell you what, I'm going to be the best Jason Weiser that I can be. I can't be a better Billy Funk, and I'm never going to be an incredible Lany Sullivan, though I wish I could be maybe some days. All I can be is the absolute best Jason Weiser that there is, And
Exactly.
and if that means it just means being real, just throw it out there and see, just throw it out there, fumble, stutter on your words, look foolish, whatever, and that being real is going to transfer. It's going to transfer to other real people who are sitting there saying, you know what, I'm struggling with the same thing. For me, when I sign up to all these, there's a lot of people that I follow their newsletters and whatnot that are very successful. Or you know what? How many of these shows have you seen where they're interviewing people that are like flying their jets and on their yachts, and the whole thing is about how did you get to be rich? How did you do that? You know what? Frankly, I'm tired of hearing it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe you guys like that. Maybe somebody else didn't. I'm not going to offend you if you do. But what's missing in that conversation for me is that genuine, is that connect. It's all about, let me pump you up. Let's get pumped. And it's good to be excited like we are here because we're just like on fire and having a good time. But that sort of like, I don't know. I don't know how to say it. Just being real, and that transfers. People are going to see when you're being genuine, and if I like try to pretend like, oh yeah, no, I got it all figured out, the moment somebody sees that I don't got it all figured out, they're going to be like, oh, I'm not following that guy anymore, So I think it's all good to just say, hey, this is what you get, and let's cruise, and let's I got a lot to offer, but we're gonna make mistakes along the way, but let's have fun.
Totally. I think that hype lasts a moment and authenticity lasts a lifetime. And that's huge if you really think about it. I hate hype. I mean, I love excitement, but I hate hype because I don't feel it's authentic. I think it's just meant to pump you up, and then you crash from it if you really don't have the belief. And if it's authentic, it'll last forever. It'll take you to the path that, take you down that path. It'll push you and pull you down that path that you're going for. So authenticity is huge, huge, huge. Forget the hype. Be real, like Jason said. I mean, what you see is what you get. Like, be real online, be real offline, be authentic, because people will follow your authenticity, not your hype.
I agree totally, Lany Sullivan. Tim Bain says, we've been in business online for 15 years, but it's been so impersonal. I'm trying to show people the face behind the name. After all, people don't give a crap about a company if they don't know the people behind it. I believe wholeheartedly in that, Tim. What do they say? What's that old quote where people won't care how much you people won't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the other one. There's the other one that says people only buy from you if they know, like, and trust you. So.
Well, absolutely. People, I believe, don't buy products. They don't buy companies. They buy people. When was the last time you bought something from a billboard ad? When was the last time you bought something from a radio ad? When was the last time you bought something from a TV ad? The answer for most of us is we can't remember. It's the last time we went to a restaurant was probably because a friend of ours told us about it, and they had a great dining experience. Last time we watched a movie, somebody we know went there and thought it was funny, thought it was a great drama, thought it was something worthwhile, and they shared it with us. And so people buy things from other people. And, are you a person that you would buy from? I think is another great. Well, we're kind of winding down here. We could probably stay here and talk for I know at least a couple of days. So let's I guess close it up with one great tip, or because we talked about so much in so many different ways. Jason T. Weiser, if you had to leave everybody with one on-track tip. Here's my on-track tip for everybody. From Jason, I'm going to let him give his own. But go to ontracktips.com right now. Put another tab up right in your Chrome or your iPad or iPod or whatever type of computer you're using. Click on that add tab bar, okay, and then type in ontracktips.com. Hit enter, and when we're all done, go and check him out because he's got some incredible value, and he's giving a lot of it out for free. So I love free nuggets, Jason. You're full of them, so that's why I love having you on, brother. What's happening? What's your one tip, I guess, to leave everybody with besides getting to your website?
Yeah, well, what have you done today to get you one step closer to where you want to be tomorrow? And that's it. Have I wasted today? Did I get distracted? Did I allow myself to spend too much time here or there? What have I done today to get me one step closer to where I want to be tomorrow? That's what I want to leave everybody with. If it's one thing, I'm not even going to elaborate. I'm going to leave it just like that. There it is. Lany, what do you got?
Lany Sullivan?
Eliminate your distractions. That's my big thing, is we get distracted by so many things on a daily basis. And so make your list and your goals and your visions, write it down, and then read them every day. Focus on them every day and eliminate your distractions. Whatever your distractions can be 100 million things. So just eliminate them and stay focused, and you're definitely going to hit your goals.
Mark Seidel, yep, after this hangout on there, I'm going to need a nap, LOL. Lany, I love it. Eliminate your distractions. Here's a funny, it's not really a funny quote, but it came to me out of nowhere. I kind of like the wordplay, and I have an abundance mentality, so I believe that, I'm going to create hundreds and hundreds of quotes over the next few years, and one of them that came to me a couple weeks ago was, remove any hesitation in order to get to your destination. Remove any hesitation to get to your destination. And for me, hesitation, it's doubt, that fear, just go past it, move past it. But here's my one tip, okay? start a journal, start a goal journal, start a goal list. Okay, every day when you wake up, write down one thing that you know that you can accomplish. One thing, I don't care how easy it is, I don't care how simple it is, start a track record of writing your goals and then accomplishing your goals. Because if you make writing your goals habitual and accomplishing your goals a ritual, you have massive success. The world is your oyster. And so with that, check out plusmastermind.com if you want an awesome mastermind course of how to get thousands and thousands of followers on Google+. Scott Bueller and myself put that together. That's my, I guess that's my one plug-in for today.
And I'm going to plug, make sure you guys stop by the Women's Power community. We are launching a great program for ladies. The gents are welcome, but it is a ladies program. So stop by the community and pop in and join us.
Awesome. Right on. Well, with that, everybody, my name is Billy Funk, the Extreme Networker. On behalf of Jason T. Weiser with OnTrackTips.com and Lany Sullivan with the Women's Mastermind, we are Mindset Your Marketing for today. And if you stay passionate and stay positive, you'll always stay powerful. So until next time, guys, have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and just be happy.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
See you. Bye now.